Hello, guys. Good evening. Welcome to the Super Serious Tournament Division 2 semi-finals between GMTB3A Academy and Titans. I am joined by Highest Toxic tonight. How's it going, my dude?
Hello, hello. Doing good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. So, getting quickly here into Champ Select, what are your thoughts so far on the bands?
Well, uh, so for blue side, we obviously have like the classic bands, right? Krusty Pants has been smurfing it to say the least on Lee Sin. Squav, obviously a big Nasus player, and Swain taken away from SLB and Manny. And on red side, Lulu's taken away from Red Panda. It is a very annoying champ. It really does counter a lot of what Give Me the Bread 3 academies like team comp styles have been based around. Wukong is because Wukong, and Nocturne just because it's also Nocturne. So,
Yeah,
but
makes
that
sense.
does leave Din Zhao to be first picked as well by Titans.
Yeah, and they're going to answer with the Kai'Sa Nautilus, the classic pairing in bot lane. So that gives you a lot of all-in potential and also a lot of setup for the Kai'Sa later on into the game. So, and I think it's one of Annihilation's more comfort picks, right? I feel like he played like a lot of Kai'Sa. So I think that makes sense. But they are thinking about answering it with the Misfortune. They are going to lock it in, which is a bit of a lane bully. You don't see it that often, but it can be a pick that kind of punishes these shorter range AD carries such as the Kai'Sa. So we'll see what they end up pairing with, like either some hard CC or maybe even an Enchanter to have like pure lane bully stats.
Yeah, it's a very can also be a small weak side pick here, but of course the Rel is going to be picked as that is actually I think it's a good pick into the Nautilus. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. But Misfortune Rel is a very nice combo to have. That of course does leave a lot of wombo combos in team fights that Kai'Sa could still get out of. She has that ulti to get away from things, but at the end of the day, it's still a very nice wombo combo. And Volibear being locked in is a potential flex for jungle or top here. Not sure though, because I'm pretty sure it is Squaw's champ, but there is a chance that Rusty could just play it as a counter to Xin Zhao here.
Yeah, for sure. So looks like you're going to focus more here on mid lane bans, taking away the Victor. See what else. So they're going to focus on junglers here because they do believe that Volibear isn't going to go top. So they're going to take away Krusty Pants' Zac, which he has played in the last series a couple times. So I'm not too surprised to see that taken away. And then obviously Fiora target against Esper Boss, not very surprising at all.
Yeah. Orn band as well, just get rid of that like team fight potential that Squaw can provide.
Yeah.
On the off chance that the Volibear is going jungle. Fiora actually banned away, so it does leave the Irelia open for Hawkins. I know it's like a very dangerous attempt to leave open for him, but it does mean that they would have a lot of AD. So I think Give Me the Breads, they know this, so they're potentially going to leave it up just because he's kind of backed into a corner here. And Diana covered, I think that's probably going to go mid anyway. It's a really nice champ, goes really well with Misfortune and Rel. So they're going to go for that big wombo combo team fight.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. Let's see now, because you also have the added protection of that, that Xin Zhao is also going to go right and start the fight off for you, and he can like soak a lot of damage with his own ulti. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Ziggs is a nice answer in a lot of regards because he brings like a lot of zone control. Obviously, like if you group up in one area like this competition from the side of Titans wants to do, he can punish that super hard with his Mega Inferno Bomb, plus all the other tools he can throw down in like just big AoEs. So that could pretty nice for the side of Titans. And looks like they're going to round it out with a Hecarim. So it does look like it's going to be a Volibear top for the Squav going into Esper Boss's Jax.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Esper is picking Jax on with the information that Volibear is going top. So I think that is Jack's favorite after a certain point. But Hecarim is one of Krusty Pants' like it's a very simple champ to execute. And if he pairs it well with Volibear, like Jax is never like surviving tower dives, even with like the stats that he gets from his ulti and the counter strike. It's very devastating. And Hecarim can also like start team fights really well against that team, disrupt that backline, that Misfortune ulti. with the Ziggs. So it's going to come down to the execution of team fights. But I think that red team have one draft just from the chance that they have.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I do feel like, so you're looking at maybe like kind of strong individual lane performances here from Titans. Like you want this Jax to get ahead so that he can be like a split push threat, so you don't have. So then like Game Bread can't like force those kind of wombo fights on you, like especially with the Herc multi as you said. But if Jax can just sit in the side lane and he can't be stopped, well then like who's gonna be able to answer him, right? Like the Heck from Volibear? Not really, realistically, right? So we'll see if they can get Esper Boss ahead. He has been a win condition for them before. But we shall throw it over to a quick break, guys, and we'll be back to you shortly. And welcome back, guys. We are into a pause, as is tradition, for the first game of this best of 3 series in the semi-final between Titans and GMTB3A Academy. Looks like it is going to come out pretty shortly, and we'll see how these two teams want to start it off. There are some pretty spicy level 1 plays you could make, especially if you're the side of GMTB3 here. We are loading in now. So, yeah, High doesn't seem to be here at the moment, but that's okay. Looks like they are pinging towards their top side here, but looks like they're just going to do The 5-man spread, just have a few people coming up there, maybe potentially trying to ward off any deep vision being laid down early on from Titans.
Until minions spawn.
Alright, sorry, I'm back.
No bother at all.
Okay. By the way, am I looking at your stream or am I looking at my own thing? Because you're doing the replay thing.
It's up to you. Whatever your preference is. I'll probably talk about replays if I find any to come up, but I'll probably be on talking over them anyway. But if there's anything, you can just switch over while I'm doing them if you've got anything to point out.
Okay, sure.
Looks like they're going to find each other here in the river.
Bolton next. Nice 2-man rel W here. Exhaust going to be dropped early. I think Manny flashed in place. I tried to ignite. Bolton next brought very low, but so is Nile. The heal's going to be dropped a little too late. Nile Lacey picks up first blood, flashing away. Red Panda, one more audible finish it, but he gets it with the Ferromancy remount. And slight. I think that's going to go in favor of Annihilation. He gets the kill. He gets the first blood. Before the waves even crash, and that's an extra longsword for him. He actually starts with 2 longswords. He starts with a longsword for himself. So he's going to already have 20 AD in lane. He's going to lose a bit of Omnifam and HP, but I think they're going to try to kill this Misfortune as much as possible in the early game.
Yeah, and no summoners here on the Rel either. Does have Hex Flash, but does mean she can be very vulnerable for ganks, and you have plenty of setup with that Nautilus, but looks like they're looking for a play already with the level 2.
Rel's already level 2. Actually, does manage to land. Actually, does miss. Manny is a little bit in a bit of small predicament, but Red Panda actually taking a lot of damage from that. As Misfortune was the only one hitting the Nautilus, and Annihilation still level 1. Takes a small chunk of damage, but I think they're a little better off in that from that trade.
Yeah, those look like Bolton next, and Red Panda will get the shove down bot lane first. Meanwhile, a bit of trade up the top lane. You imagine that quite early on, Volibear should be pretty decent in that lane, right? But as it goes on, you'd imagine Jax does kind of scale quite nicely. He does enjoy those kind of longer drawn-out fights. So we'll see if Esperbros can make that work for him and survive the early game. Meanwhile, just a bit of poke going back for mid lane, not too much to talk about. So really all the action right now is in this bot lane. They're just going for a pure scrap fest.
Yep, Esperbros and Guava are going for a little bit of a trade here. Esperbros comes out really hard on top of that. Swap didn't get to hit a single one of his abilities, and once Esperbros actually takes a nice bit of extra damage from that empowered W, we do see Xin Zhao and Hecarim on the bot side going for this grab here. And Esperbros, another small trade. Hawkins going in on SLB. Conqueror procced, and all the damage is being dropped here. Manny and Annihilation are going to walk it a little in there. Manny, no flash, remember. He doesn't do a bit of damage, but here comes Hecarim on the backside. Where's Xin Zhao? And Red Panda actually dashes in, takes down Manny, and Krusty Pants managing to take down Volta next, and Annihilation picks up Rel on the other end of that little skirmish. And Krusty Pants with a very nice initial gank picks up big stack go in the favor of Give Me the Bread Academy.
Yeah, and that's another trade that goes pretty much in their favor. It does allow Annihilation to stay in lane and also shove in this way too, deny some minions away from Voltanex. So they do definitely come out ahead on that play. Though Voltanex is returning with a pickaxe in his pocket, so he's not going to be too upset about that. Already a big chunk of damage, but it's also a Dirk and a longsword in Annihilation's pockets. So both ADC carries are going to be like relatively happy with how that went, even though the trade did go in favor of red overall.
Yeah, it's just Rusty Panstiff. I assumed that Voltanex and Red Panda were actually going to win that because I thought Xin Zhao was on the bot side, but apparently he had already started pathing towards the top grab.
Yeah.
And that just turned out really poorly for the side of Titans. Bit unlucky, but it's not the end of the world. But yeah, Esperbros waves in a bit of an awkward position. Krusty Pants is on this top side, can look to punish, but I think He is actually in the bot side. Annihilation and Manny get hit. Nice little stun. Annihilation brought down very low. Bolton next trying to output whatever damage he can, but he can't really follow as far as that rel. But it's still a good trade nonetheless. Both Nile and Manny are taken down to about half HP, and Bolton, they get the shove in without the worry of the jungler being anywhere near them. But anyway, speaking of junglers, here comes Krusty Pants. He actually dashed in, forcing the flash from Hawkins. Very nice play from SLB with the satchel charge.
So far, so a lot of aggression still working its way out in the bot lane, and Bolton coming ahead in that trade. Got a lot of damage onto Manny, who only really survived thanks to the aftershock proc, really. If he'd been there much longer, I think he might have gotten chunked out super hard. But yeah, Krusty Fans continuing to put out a lot of pressure, forcing out Flash in the mid lane. Keeps Diana back on the back foot. He's continuing to hover around the bot side now, grabbing his Gromp. And since the enemy bot lane recalled, they can get that shove in. Mayhaps they can look at this dragon, and they do know that they have spotted Emmet here in the mid lane, so they'll know roughly where he is on the map.
Yeah, Esper Boss just casually last hitting under tower here. Squabble did get a nice shove in, so he does get the recall off. Doesn't need to burn the TP, and Esper Boss is going to recall himself. Icy Flame, sorry. Emmet and Red Panda spotted on this Dragon Pit, clearing out a bit of vision. We do see Krusty Pants on that bot side river, trying to look for that little gank. As remember, Diana has no flash, brought very low, but I think he's just going to recall. But Ziggs is just going to shove this wave, and they're potentially going to look for this dragon here. Ultim next, just putting some vision. Nothing going on here.
Yeah.
I feel like something is about to go down really fast, really soon.
Yeah, I mean, Noon Quiver and is now complete for Annihilation, so he's working towards that Mythic and that Q spike that you often see Kai'Sas go towards. He is going to hit it pretty soon. I'm just curious what jungler's going to force down here first, because that Infernal Dragon's been up for a little bit. I think there's been opportunities for both sides to kind of go for it, but they seem content enough just to like put down vision, play it pretty cautiously overall around his objective. So not too sure what the plan is yet, although it looks like the collapse is going to come in here first from Titans, as you can see Diana and his output moving the river.
Yeah, Din down. He's not doing much right now, but it's okay. He's probably going to look for a bot side play. That wave is shoving in nicely for them. For blue side, they are going to go get some vision here. But Hawkins looking for a little bit of damage. Nice trade there. Takes a tower shot, but you know that Pale Cascade pretty much negates all the damage. And we do see Hecarim in the top side looking for a nice gank, but I think he is spotted on that control board, so just going to walk away for now.
Yeah, a lot of near plays not really happening so far. Looks like Chris Vance is going to just start stealing some of the camps away from Emmet. Emmet's going to look down towards bot lane, but again, the wave's just not really in the position for him to gank, so it looks like they're just going to go onto this objective, get themselves the first Infernal.
Yeah. He's going to trade about his Gromp and maybe his Wolves and maybe even the Herald for this, as we do see Squab shoving in that top side, which means he will have priority for this objective this early on. Yep. Infernal is still nice, but I think this Herald is going to go in the way of Give Me the Bread, and in the end of the day, if Krusty can get a nice gank and a nice charge with that zigged satchel, like that could be a lot of gold potentially for Give Me the Bread Academy. But it will come down in the next 2 minutes to see whether or not they're able to get that gank off.
Yep, so as you said, grabbing themselves a Herald, wave shoves on top, so Scavo able to help out with that. And yeah, again, not an awful lot of action overall after those first initial like really bloody bot lane trades. And it seems to be mostly playing the objective game right now. Both sides trading across the map. So we'll see what ends up happening off the back of that. Esper already a couple items in, working towards, I believe, is the training force, is that correct? With the Sheen and the Phage?
Sheen and Phage, I think that's the Sunderer.
Okay. Which I think makes sense. I think Sunderer is still just a better item in general right now. So we'll see what happens once he's able to complete that. Maybe he can look to be more aggressive in this lane. Right now he's just kind of farming it out, being down a little bit of CS. against Squabble, but not too much in the grand scheme of things. As Annihilation and Manny get themselves a plate down here in the bot lane. They've managed to keep it pretty controlled. There's been a lot of all-ins coming out from Voltmex and Red Panda. And even though there have been a couple deaths, they're managing to stay up. And they're not letting themselves go down so easily. So, yeah, it's a fairly quiet game so far in the grand overall.
Yeah, there is the slight issue that eventually we're going to see a Hecarim who's just been casually farming, versus a Zinda which doesn't clear as fast. And we're going to see those team fights where, like, Hecarim does more. And speaking of Hecarim, he does spot Hawkins. Hawkins does have the splash. Ignite drop. On-top shadow is going to be dropped from Questy Pants. And a lot of damage from Hawkins. Nice flash away from the Zigzag. And he actually picks up that solo kill for himself. Manny's going to be taken down by Volta next. Exhaust going to be dropped on Red Panda. Annihilation brought very low. Very nice exhaust. But Volta next is going to run him down. Red Panda flips him over the head. And Volta next, with that little love tap, takes him out. Shut down for Volta next. And Squad Brung brought very low in the top lane. Not sure what happened there, but it's all okay. Because at the end of the day, that was a 3-for-0 in the favor of Titans across multiple skirmishes.
Yeah, we'll go to a quick replay here to see if this works. Cool. So yeah, we see Hawkins look for the all-in here. Does have to flash out of the Ziggs Infernal Burn, but manages to get a nice trade back in and then cuts down the bot lane. Then picking up a nice couple of kills here. And there's a really nice play here from Red Panda at the end, using the speed up from the mount up to get the flip over the end. Tanks up the tower shot. Let's Volta next get that shut down. So they're going to be really happy at that series plays.
Yeah, and now Krusty Pants, he's trying to get that desperation play off. He's trying to get that gank in the mid lane. Hawkins has nothing up, so which means that satchel charge and that Herald's going to do so much damage. But I don't think they're able to get the. Oh wait, actually no, I don't think they get the tower off it. But it's going to be very close, and any small bit of damage that Ziggs can output on that tower, will transition into a first blood tower. But here comes Emmett on the gank of repeat in the bot lane. Manny nowhere to run. He does have flash, but I don't think it's going to be going to good use. And that killing spree is now on Volta next. Kraken Slayer picked up already, so this guy is really strong right now.
Yep, that's very true. This fortune has those really nice all-in patterns. When she press her W, press the E, forces you to kind of just fight her or else try to run away. And obviously Rel can back that up because she can just lock you down. So far, really well played. And then Emmett also playing well around the lane, getting off a couple of ganks now in a row. Looks like they're trying to force onto this bot tier 1. They're trying to race for it, but they might not have the means for it.
Yeah. Doesn't matter anyway. Misfortune does a little bit of extra, quite a bit of damage, and the increased resistances from the towers hadn't kicked in yet, so they were free to take that tower, even with the plate resistances as well. And that's a lot of gold for Volta next. I think he's on 6k right now, 1k ahead of Annihilation, despite Annihilation having that very strong early game.
So...
Oh, next flash.
Red Panda
going to be dropped SLB. He does have flash to get out, so not much going to be happening.
He also knew that was coming because you saw him hugging the other side of the lane as soon as Red Panda kind of went up first, so must have been spotted out by a ward in the river. But yeah, it looks like Titans now have priority here over this dragon. They're putting a lot of vision down. They haven't started it up just yet, so they're allowing SLB to push in the wave uncontested. That means they're going to lose a lot of CS under the tower, maybe even the tower itself.
Yep, Mega Inferno Bomb going to be dropped just to check, but it's not going to do much. It's going to be a small little leash. Blue team say thank you very much, and that is second dragon for Titans. We do see a Cloud Rift, which is very nice for a wombo combo Archon. But it's not a huge win con, but it's still a very nice boon to have nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it's also really nice for the move speed, right? Because, champions like Rel, champions like Diana and Zizou really like having that out of combat move speed so they can get in position to make that engage and force the all in.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be happy enough picking up those. So we'll see if they can continue to stack that up. Meanwhile, top lane is still just a bit of a farm fest. Esper has finished the Divine Thunderer, as you called out earlier. So it's ramping up. It's going to become more of that split push trash over time. Squadvo's going to have a bit of trouble containing them. He's already taking a chunk of damage off that trade. Hasn't managed to finish his Thunder yet. So is a little bit down power. Annihilation took a big chunk there from him.
Yeah. That's the double tap and the Kraken Slayer procs happening. We do see Thirsty Pants running at them here. Manny has the depth charge. He's ready to go. They do get spot, but we do see Diana and Xin Zhao on the potential counter engage. But they do get spotted on the control board, and they're just going to walk away. But there is still 4 people on this top side. Both top laners have TP, so they're able to follow to the fight. Red Panda taking a lot of damage from Kaisa Q. But I think they're just going to try and shove in this wave, try to get this tower, and look to transition that into the Herald.
Yeah, I think makes no sense.
Oh, hang on a minute. Krusty Pants actually ghosting in. And Rel does get caught by the dredge line, but he actually does flash away. Mega Inferno Bomb does a lot of damage. Annihilation dashing in by himself. Ice Flame. Emmett, whatever his name is, he goes down. But here comes Diana with a potential free-man R. He doesn't actually get it. All that CC just denies all the potential wombo that Diana could output there. Really nice layering of CC from Manny and SLB. But Bolton next actually does pick up Annihilation, but we do see him walking into the jungle where Krusty Pants can just run at him. Bolton next is forced to flash from that. And really, really nice engage from Krusty Pants and Manny there.
Yeah, it was maybe a bit of an overforce from the side of Titans because they didn't have much of a wave getting that last bit of the shove in, and then they kind of just were, Dean Bread just kind of had the free engage. You saw, the initial engage from the Hecarim, followed by the Nautilus. Titans was really split up, so they weren't really able to fight back effectively with their wombo, as you said, and then Diana also just getting turbo lockdown as they're going to get spotted on this
Red Panda. Yeah, Krusty Pants, remember, nothing up. That means that's a lot of gold going to go over to potentially Emmett. But Emmett actually goes down. Squabble flashing into the fight. But here comes that massive wombo combo. Stuck in the pit with nowhere to go. Squabble goes down. Krusty Pants goes down. And Manny forced to flash out of the pit with his life. Just barely hanging in there. But still, that was quite a lot of gold being given over to Titans. They even got the Herald, which means they could potentially get this mid lane tower with Red Panda and Esper beating this down. And Ziggs probably not able to clear the wave as well as this time. Hawkins actually dashing in, flashing, forcing the SLB flash out. But that means that tower is going to go over to the side of Titans. Begging for the bomb. Going to be dropped, but going to be nothing as the Herald is still standing. And it's going to... no, it doesn't get the second charge. But top tier 1 is also taken down by Bolton next. So now we do see a small 2k gold lead now accumulating for Titans.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a quick look here at the gold, see where it's all at. So, as you can see, Fulton definitely the biggest beneficiary of all these plays so far, AK in his pockets. So really, a lot of gold, a lot of responsibility is on him to output damage in these teamfights. Does have the Blood Searcher complete as his second item, so has a bit of that sustain and that scrappiness in these fights to kind of like juke it out. So realistically, Gimme Bread, if they want to take him down, have to like invest a lot of resources just to lock him up and burst him down. Otherwise, he can kind of just run rampant, especially if he's just allowed to free fire with the ulti. But the gold is quite close overall. It's barely a 1k gold lead for the side of Titans. Now, obviously, they do have the 2 dragons. They have the advantage of having these waves shoved in mid and bot, so they'll have insight on starting up this dragon fight. Right now they're a bit split. There's only 3-man core in the river.
Yeah, Diana is spotted from that wave, so he could just get run down. Krusty Pants going to ghost in. He has Onslaught of Shadows going to be used, and Diana, he does actually manage to get a 3-man ulti. Annihilation forced to use the ulti to get out, and that is a massive wombo combo from Titans. And I mean, you thought you caught out Diana, but that Diana has a really nice ulti that can set up that huge wombo, and Titans quick on the trigger, turning that what seemed to be a nice catch for Give Me the Bread turns into that 3rd dragon, and probably not the Nash, but it's still a damn good turnaround.
Right, so I'm gonna break that down real quick here. So, as you can see, Titan Split River, Hawkins on the side, does get caught out, engaged on by Krusty Pants, takes a lot of damage, does have Zhonya's to bail out. As you said, gets the ulti though with the Rel, and all that wombo just layered down on top is so beautiful to see. And that really should not have worked out. Like, the positioning from Hawkins was very greedy, but ultimately they managed to turn that around. That play, and Titans come out hugely ahead of that.
Yeah, and now Jax, he's chilling. He had a Heartman Axe, but he changed with TMS, so I guess he's going for the I think it's the Titanic Hydra. So he's going to be a really big menace in this split. He has the Executioners for the Volibear, so I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, but it's definitely going to. A Conqueror Jax is going to do a lot more and longer trades than this Grasp on the Volibear. So that's a good win con. Volta next, he's chilling. So he's got 2 items. Diana is going to be huge huge player for these team fights as well. And there is still that win con of the Ziggs. Like, he's really fed. He's nearly got the tier fully stacked. He's going for that Horizon focus, so his damage is going to be output quite high. And Squab takes a lot of damage from Bolton next year.
Yep. Doesn't have any much in the way of regen either, or healing from his team, so is just going to have to be forced to back here. Meanwhile, Hawkins is just free pushing here in the top lane. Getting this wave shoved in is going to have to be answered.
Yeah, he's just outputting so much pressure. Give Me the Bread are forced to recall, catch these waves, and that means that gives Titans more. It eases up the pressure for Esper Boss. Now that they all going top side, he's going to have free reign in this bot side, smacking away at these towers, picking up these waves. While mid lane is getting hard shoved in, all the prize is going to be dropped, and a lot of vision going to be dropped around the Nash.
Yeah, that is correct. Right now, Esper Boss pushing the bot lane will have TP up relatively soon. Can't really do much against the Ziggs, who can just kind of wave clear infinitely at this stage because he'll have plenty of mana to work with. But he can at least be a menace there and kind of act as a point of pressure. It's going to be pretty hard for the side of Give Me the Bread to lock him down, especially if it's like only a Ziggs answering them, because it's not like if you engage with a Hecarim, like, do you have enough burst to get through a Jax this quickly, So we'll see. No wave here in mid lane, so Titans were looking for like maybe a cheeky pick. Weren't able quite to find it though.
Yeah, and actually, just something that just came to my mind is that this is the patch where items like Hullbreaker and Famous Chains were introduced, right? So this Jax, once he gets those items, he's probably just never going to lose the split. If Titans get the Oh, hang on a minute. Esper Boss taking quite low. Presley doing a lot of damage. But is he going to get the kill? Esper Boss does so much damage. And he actually managed to pick up the kill. Dodges all the bombs, but SLB dashing into melee range. And ooh, that bomb just gets that massive shutdown. And there's that Ziggs win con that could potentially turn this game around for Give Me the Bread. But they are going to get this mid tier 2. Volibear going to be brought very low. Diana is also in the top side, getting a lot that buff side turret gold. That turret's going to be used, but there's no follow-up as SLB has only just come back from base. No Mega Inferno Bomb, and Annihilation by himself isn't able to output that damage.
Yeah, for sure. SLB almost killed himself by satchling into the Jax range, but did manage to get the kill at the last second. But ultimately, yeah, Titans come out ahead. 2 towers, 1 from kill in the bot lane. They're going to be pretty happy with how that turned out. That's a 3k, nearly 4k gold lead in their pockets right now, leading into what is going to be soul for them already on the soul points. As you said, Cloud Soul isn't the most hyped soul you can go for, but it does work out pretty nicely for this composition. So we'll see if they can try and secure it, or are Give Me the Bread, are they going to try and contest this, or are they going to give it up? It looks like they're posturing for it, but Annihilation is only recalling now, so he's going to be a bit late to this fight.
Yeah, Volta next 2 crit cloaks, so he's going to be sitting on about like 70% crit chance, if I'm not wrong. I mean, whatever. But the point is, my math isn't really on point right now. But either way, he's going to do a lot of damage with this R. Voidseeker going to catch Esper Boss. Remember, I think Titans do have R stronger right now, but Give Me the Bread do have a potentially a better team comp, especially with the Ziggs poking him down. A lot of damage, and here comes Red Panda pulling the trigger, 3-man stun. But remember, as I said, Give Me the Bread can just run at the Misfortune and take him down, and that's exactly what they do. SLB is still very low in this fight. Esper Boss manages to pick this up. Hawkins is on the backline with no R, with no flash, but Squabble and Krusty Pants and Manny are still alive. No damage dealers alive for Give Me the Bread, but at the same time, no damage dealers either, and Esper Boss and Hawkins brought very low. But here comes Esper. He is trying to look for a steal, but I think he's just going to walk away knowing that the smite is up.
Yeah, so I think the main issue with that fight is that Hawkins was, again, a bit disjointed from the team. Now, again, he was looking for a flank. He did manage to get a trade kill, or managed to get a kill onto Annihilation, who was basically a non-factor in that fight because of it. But the engage was just, he was just too far away from the initial engage, so they were able to put all that damage just straight onto Voltanex, right? There was no pressure for them to focus on anyone else. And then, yeah, okay, you assassinate the enemy AD carry. That's great, Hawkins, but like your team has lost the fight, and so your soul win condition has now been delayed. They do have a chance to regroup here. They are going to get priority here onto the river around the Baron. So we'll see if they can get the setup they want. But it is looking a bit scary for them. They're not getting through. They've mis-executed on this one fight here. And if they lose another one like that, it could be game over.
Yeah. The Titans still have it in them. They just need to remember that Krusty Pants and Squab can just press R on top of the stationary Misfortune, who is outputting damage, but if they're just going to completely disrupt her, take out most of their damage, and Hawkins by himself, yeah, sure, you're going to take out the ADC, but like Annihilation at this point is, for lack of a better word, kind of useless right now. It's all SLB right now, outputting so much damage. Luden, Zonya's, and the Horizon Focus done. So he's got a lot of damage under his belt. Tearfully Snacky is going to probably look for the Archangels next, if not probably a Void Staff for himself. So...
yeah, right now...
oh, hang on a minute. Annihilation, no flash. Does have Killer Instinct on that. So much that massive combo could be dropped. Manny and Annihilation taken down. And SLB did burn the Mega Inferno Bomb. So any potential nuke and steal from this Baron is pretty much nullified. And I think Give Me the Bread recognized that. That means Esther Boss is going to see if he can 1v2 outplay Super Mega Jack's 1v2 outplay combo. He does get the fear off, but Squawk is going to be brought very low. Stormbringer drop, but he's going to flash away. Esper Boss drops the Grandmaster's Might, and he just walks away for himself. And Squawk, realizing that he isn't exactly built to deal with a Jax at this point, so it's a bit unlucky, and that means that blue team get the Baron Nashor. 2 kills for nothing. It's a very big value for Titans.
Yeah, huge value. Again, Esper Boss is just almost unkillable here in the side lane. You saw just, again, the longer fight gets dragged out, the more he loves it. He's stacking up like Conqueror. He's building up the Divine Thunder procs with the Titanic Hydra. So, and it's just impossible for Squab and Krusty Pants to get through him on their own. And buys a lot of space for them ultimately. So right now they're going to be able to set up this 1-3-1. Esper Boss still has his TP, so he can still go into a side lane. Be that threat that keeps on split pushing. The rest of the team can... you could send Hawkins up the top. I think you'd rather keep the 4 of them together though. Do a 4-1 perhaps. Just because, again, there are so many engaged tools here on the side of Give Me the Bread that if they just force a fight onto the 3-man core, they can just blow them up very quickly.
We do see that Swamp actually bought the Anathema's Chains. For some reason, it's locked onto Esper. But anyway, Bolton next actually isn't being targeted at all by Krusty Pants. That was a massive misplay from him, and he doesn't focus down that Misfortune. And that gives him all the range to just run rampant with that bullet time. And that is first game in this best-of-3 series in the semifinals.
I mean, I guess they were looking for the engage angle, but they lost that 5-4v3 because of the Wobble came out, and
Squall.
it is game over.
Nowhere is safe.
For Give Me the Bread. Yeah. It's going to be 1-0 to Titans in the series already, and that's a pretty convincing win overall, it has to be said.
Yeah, I mean, Krusty Pants kind of choked in that last fight, not hitting the one target he needs to focus, and Squawk not really binding himself to the one person that actually is doing damage to him. I mean, yeah, I guess Jax in the split is doing damage, but like in team fights, you just want to focus on that Misfortune who's outputting all that damage. You see I'm pretty sure in the advanced details, we just see, yeah, like Misfortune is like the 1v9 champion here.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking a quick look here at the damage. So yeah, as you can see, Voltanex doing a lot of damage. Not unsurprising with the amount of wombo ultis he was able to get onto multiple targets. Also put a decent amount of damage in lane phase as well. They were very scrappy down there. So nicely played by Titans. They got their wombos off. They managed Jax. Esper Boss did his job in the side lane. Drew attention to himself. I think he only died really the once in the side lane. In the 1v1. or sorry, in the 1v2 rather. So, and he
Yeah,
still
he does
and
get one though.
yeah, and he went 1 for 1, right? So ultimately, they managed to pull off this comp pretty well. I don't know if you can. I don't necessarily think you could try and pull this off again, or at least consistently, right? Because it feels like if you don't get the fight exactly right, then you kind of just get run over, like we saw, from that earlier that last dragon fight, where they were able to get all that engaged on to Volt next. He went down, and then they basically just had nothing left. So we'll see if they run it back or if they're going to try change it up. But we will go to a quick break as we get into Game 2, guys. Talk to you a bit. Alright, guys, we are back for Game 2. Champ select here between GMTB3A Academy 3 and Titans in this Div 2 semi-final. Titans taking the first game in fairly convincing fashion after a fairly even early game. Kind of got a lot of nice team fights off around those objectives with that wombo that we kept talking about. And we'll see if they kind of go for something similar here as we're into the first round bands.
Yeah, same. I think it's the same bands coming out. Nocturne was Nocturne banned for red side or blue side last game?
I think it was banned blue side, but I have to go back and look.
But it's still Misfortune banned away. I think they realized that that wombo combo did revolve around the Misfortune and the Brel, just locking them in place and just outputting so much DPS. Nocturne is obviously, I think, just banned away for is it OP, I guess. And when the classic ban away, takes a lot of the power out of SLB and Mandy, and of course Xin Zhao first pick, and that's the OP pick.
Yep, for sure. So Xin Zhao locked once again here on blue. We'll see what Titans want to answer with this time around, as they have the choice to try and lock themselves into. Maybe they want to lock themselves a bot lane in one go. They are going to get themselves a Diane again, so Hawkins did have a pretty decent game on it overall. Had some really nice ultis and nice bursts along with the team. And it looks like they're going to be safe and lock the Ezreal here for Volt next.
Yeah, Diana can be flexed in that jungle or mid lane here, so they do have the potential to get a counter matchup mid for Diana. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the bot lane picked for GMTB3A Academy. Not sure what they're going to pick, but actually Silas is going to be locked in. Also another flex for Squab and SLB.
Yeah, so Seems a bit early to take the Silas here, but already got a couple of nice ultis with the Diana and the Ezreal that you can use, so they definitely seem to have confidence with it. Let's see what else they want to lock in here. So far, just jungle and the potential to flex Silas around. I don't know if Scova does play in the top lane, but they are going to grab themselves the Taric, which is not something you see all that often. I think there was one game of it in the LEC where Hylissang and Upset played it for Fnatic, and that was like Kalista Taric, and they really abused the synergy with the stun. But yeah, it seems it's very unusual to pick it up this early.
Yeah, I think Taric would work really well with Xin Zhao and potential ultis that Silas can steal if he can buy a lot of time. Lucian is picked, so that does indicate that the Diana is going jungle. And Nasa's banned away from Squav. And yeah, I think the Taric is actually a good pickup here.
Yeah, so see what NCDM pairing it with. Right now they have locked in Lucian here for that kind of solo lane dominance that we've come to know. And not too surprised by the second round of bans coming through. The Nasus banned once again against Squavo. Annihilation's Kaisa, Espervos's Fiora. All very much expected. And the Karma is, again, not unsurprising. Is a very strong champion, can kind of flex into multiple positions. Have seen this throughout the tournament. It has been shown to be very, very strong. So we'll see what they end up going with. They are hovering, and they are going to lock in the Seraphine. So they're going to have a bit of a Enchanter poke bot lane here with Ezreal Seraphine, which can be a bit tricky for the Taric to deal with in lane. And I guess it's good in the sense that even though you might have Taric ulti to like make your team invulnerable, if you time your Seraphine ulti correctly, you can like wait it out and then throw it down and look for that wombo. It looks like you're going to lock in Malphite here for Squavo.
One pick, I guess, but Diana Seraphine is going to do quite a bit of damage to him. Probably going to look for, what ADC could they pick? They could just pick the Kalista here. Draven is also actually a really nice pick, but into Ezreal, then Kalista is just going to be locked in. Going to do a nice little combo for themselves. Silas, has that Seraphine are now to steal, which is going to be quite potentially devastating. And we look to see what Esper is going to pick with his counter matchup.
Yeah, how much can you realistically counter Malphite in lane? Is my question. Looks like they are going to go with the Trundle, so maybe less about like individual like lane killing and more the fact that he can just steal stats in fights and be a big old menace, especially against something that's like such low range like the Kalista, right? Because you can throw down the slow fields, the Pillar, kind of really disrupt her in fights. I think that can make a lot of sense. So yeah, but I'm just trying to think. I'm just looking at this Titan comp, and it just feels a bit weird, right? Like it feels like maybe a little bit disjointed. So you have two ADCs, you have a Diana who wants to go in, you've got Trundle who doesn't really act like a true frontline, right? Because he doesn't have any like proper easy lockdown CC. It's more like disruption and slows. And then like your real only engage is like Diana going in with like a Seraphine ulti on top of her. I guess is the way you start fights. Which it just feels a bit weird. Whereas I look at the side of GMTB3A and it seems a lot easier to execute. Like obviously Malphite, very easy. You press forward, you go in, right? Or if a fight is started on you, you press Taric ulti, you can kind of wait out and reposition and then look for the re-engage, right? And then you got a bunch of champions that like to go in, like Xin Zhao, Silas, Kalista can dance around the back too. So I like GMTB3A's kind of comp, just more for the 5v5s, and we've already seen like a bunch of those fights around objectives in the last game. We're probably going to see a lot more of them this time too. So again, it's kind of on Titans to find like, I guess, kind of lane leads and translate those into like especially like pressure here from Emmett once again, and try to kind of translate that into objectives. Because if they don't have that set up first, I feel like GMTB3A just have better tools in their pockets first.
Yeah, I fully agree. Give me the Bread's Academy. Give me the Bread's team comp is once again like looking more cohesive. But you know, it's still Seraphine and Diana, so
Yeah, I mean they are pretty disgusting. But
yeah.
we'll just wait for Spectre Delay to catch up, guys. We'll be back to you shortly. And we're back, guys, here for game 2 between Give Me the Bread and Titans. 1-0 to Titans already in this best of 3, so definitely heavily advantaged for the rest of the series because they only have to win this one game to knock Give Me the Bread out. We'll see if they can make it happen against what is a pretty strong 5-on-5 coming out from Give Me the Bread. And also a very kind of aggressive bot lane, you can definitely say, with the Kalista Taric, because you definitely look to, make plays with that. The E-stun coming out from the Taric, because you can, with the repositioning from the Kalista. And you definitely, with the champion, you definitely want to be trying to bully out that lane.
Minions have spawned.
I do see Give Me the Bread have gotten themselves a ward here on its Raptors, so they're going to gather some information about what's happening here. And, Emmett's going to get a leash down here in the bot lane, going to path towards top, it seems like. I'm just saying here for Crucifix.
Right, I'm back. Oh, I just see nothing going on. They're just chillings.
Yep. Nothing too much happening. Both junglers starting up on the bot side, passing towards top. Not expecting an awful lot again in the early game. Mostly a lot of CS and maybe with aggression coming out from this bot lane.
Yeah, they do get this nice shot. Annihilation. Hail of Blades proc doing so much damage. That's a lot of damage already. Actually has the Pierce first. Gets that extra shove in. And Esper Boss and Squav are just gonna trade blows with each other. A Conqueror, actually, for Esper Boss. But he's looking to really just split this entire game as well.
Yep, I think that makes sense. Next
level 2 Spike. Annihilation. Doing a lot of damage. Exhaust could be dropped, actually. Annihilation actually taking it quite a bit low, but
Oh.
Voltimnex walking in for no reason, and he's forced to burn the heal. I'm not sure what's going on, but if I take a quick look at the predictions and where's all the money going, I think I might know what's going on.
Well, Emmett did bet all his money on the enemy team, which is highly suspicious. So we'll track him to see if he's showing any unusual movement in
Oh,
the game.
Red Panda!
Annihilation, I don't know if you can walk up here. Does
Ho, ho,
use
ho.
his heal. Both AD carries playing a little bit fast and loose with their summoners this game. No heals available.
Annihilation, the Annihilation decided to bet all his money on Titans or what as well. Oh, hang on. Krusty Pants flashing in. Actually burning out Hawkins' flash. Really nice play from Krusty. Flash is still worth, and Hawkins is now in very big danger of a potential repeat gank.
Yeah, for sure. Already stuck underneath his tower, very low on mana. Looks like he's already used all the ticks of his pot as well, so can't continue to poke at Ross, who's managed to sustain through all the cheese wheels. And is quite a bit of CS, in fact. We'll have to see if Squelch can try to catch all this underneath his tower. Oh, he's going to take a lot of damage.
Oh, nice little pillar. Also a bit out of now, so he's doesn't get to do much.
To maybe look for a dive, but the wave isn't really there, so he's probably just going to recall.
Yeah, not much can be done. The wave isn't exactly big either, and
Okay.
Emmett does burn the. He just stops the recall, I guess, but at this point he just probably wants to go back and do his camps. They're actually still looking. Squav's back is being delayed by so much, and I don't think it's going to do anything. And we do see a repeat gank once again. Hawkins, no ward. Now he is being spotted. Krusty Pants dashes in. 1, 2, 3. First blood for himself. SLB does burn the flash just to hit the abduct, but it's still first blood for Krusty Pants, and now this Zinzap is on the board, and he's going to start snowballing.
Yeah, for sure. Punishing the flash, or lack of flash from Hawkins on return, so nicely done by Krusty Pants. And we'll see if he can continue to do anything with that. Squavo, having absorbed a lot of pressure up here, is already down 14 CS, 13 CS I should say. So all that pressure coming out from Esper Boss has paid some dividends, although Emma did spend a lot of time up in that bush, so we'll see if he gets put behind it all, especially with Krusty managing to get that kill. You can see Manitou looking to get some deep vision down, potentially for a TP flank later on in the laning phase. But right now, both teams just kind of getting recalls off, just kind of farming. Not too much happening right now.
Yeah, I think, I just realized that Hawkins may have been spending a few too many duo games with Adam. He did die with 2 wards in his on his trinket, so he didn't exactly place any vision.
Even after the first game, that's pretty bad. For sure, bit of greed perhaps coming from Hawkins.
Exactly. Why place vision when you can just kill them if you know where they are all the time?
True.
As some wise person once told me.
Annihilation's gonna be
a lot of damage. Nice damage.
Hasn't been too on point with these tower stones yet, bar an early one that they got in Seraphine. But we'll see if he can clean that up. They do have a lot of control of this bot lane. You can see Bolton is just trying to CS underneath his turret. Is down about nearly a whole wave. And it does mean Annihilation and Manitou can get the prio. They're getting some vision here into Emmett's bot side jungle. They're going to stall him out with a vision plant. And they're going to secure themselves that Skull Crowd. No real contest going to come out there.
Yeah, they're all just going to walk in. Emmett. Okay. Oh, getting hit by the flash stun. Exhaust going to be dropped. Emmett's going to be brought very low. A lot of damage going to be dropped. Annihilation flashing in. He does have heal to get out. But Annihilation does actually get slowed up. And that kill does go over to Bolton next. Give me the better a little bit too far into the wrong jungle. And a double kill for Voltim next again. And now Voltim next is once again just getting a lot of free gold just funneled into him, and I guess GG better jungle wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's really strange. They invested a lot to get that kill onto MS, but you could see Annihilation just wasn't sure if he had enough spheres stacked up, so he didn't want to go for the rend until he was sure. But at that point, the collapse came in, and they were just able to trade back 2 for 1. So yeah, Titan's going to be pretty happy with how that ended up working out. And Emmett still gets his blue buff, so like he's not going to really be all that salty about it. Although Krusty Pants is running over, but he doesn't. Both his lanes are kind of shoved in right now, so this is not really all that good for him to test.
He does get spotted on the ward, but bot lane do have recalled, so he really can't be punished as hard. But I think that means they will just get the free Ocean Dragon for themselves. Unfortunately, they're not able to take the Herald as top lane is being shoved in.
Yeah, so gonna secure this. It's the first dragon of the game coming over for Give Me the Bread. So yeah, ultimately they're actually slightly ahead in goal, and it just seems to be off the back of. Actually, I'm not even too sure what it looks like. Mostly the CS lead in bot lane, but again, you would think that would be slightly even out by the 2 kills given over to Voltanex. Has a lot of damage going down from Annihilation. He's hopping and skipping, landing a lot of spears. I'm going to take a quick look here at gold. So I'm curious how this is end up working out. So yeah, it's actually only a 50 gold lead for Annihilation overall. And it looks like
we are looking for a massive dive. Hawkins does have flash to get out. Krusty Pants actually flashing under tower. He drops the Crescent Guard, but he is brought very low from all those tower shots. 4-man mid, and Ezra Boss drops the Subjugate. Squav does have R, but I think he's just going to have to ult out. Yep. I don't know what he's trying to do, trying to all in on a Trundle with Conqueror and ulti. So he does have TP to get back, but I mean, it's not exactly an ideal situation. Bot lane, from that massive roam in the mid lane, does lose the wave. Oh, action. Annihilation drops the Fate's Call. Here comes the TP from SLB. Nice ulti from Seraphine. And then, stolen Seraphine ult actually lands on 2. SLB picks up that kill on Red Panda. Voltanex, very nice flash. And SLB does have the Abscond and Abduct looking to dive. Manny actually tanking the tower, and Voltanex nowhere to run. Shut down for him. Annihilation brought very, very low, but unfortunately his jungler, their jungler is on the top lane, walking away those Krugs.
Yep, so...
And Squav just gonna walk out at Esper. Can't actually kill him. Hang on, Annihilation brought very low. Don't know what he's doing there, and Hawkins picks up that kill for himself. Esper actually flashing under the tower. Very nice play. Oh, but the cheese wheels actually managed to pick him up, and he does get that kill, but he does walk into Krusty. Krusty doesn't have flash, but the ward does spot him just in time.
Alright, so a lot happened there. Just trying to think exactly who really kind of came out ahead, because it feels again like pretty even overall. Like, yeah, like the bot lane fight was pretty nice. The collapse from SLB with the TP flank using Stolen Seraphine ult to set them up for the kills. But yeah, like Annihilation overstayed behind the turret, ends up getting traded back by Hawkins fairly easily, and then 1-for-1 up in the top lane. Ultimately, Krusty Pants does get himself the Herald, so it does feel like Unibread came out just slightly ahead in that play overall. Right now, Annihilation is just trying to survive down here bot lane, grab himself some CS. And he's chilling for the most part.
Yeah, he's just picking a bit of solo XP for himself. Antipas I'm actually surprised. He dies to Squabble there. Overstayed his welcome, obviously, and now the Herald is now on the side of Krusty Pants. So he can just look to get a gank off and look to drop that Herald for a few plates and even potentially a tower.
Yep, for sure. Let's see now. See, Annihilation still kind of posturing for looking for the all-ins with the Tarek E, but so far Red Panda Voltanex haven't given them an angle for engage. Do you see Emmett is down here? Don't think he's been spotted by ward just yet, so engage could come through here.
Yeah. But maybe a potential free man here. Esper and Squab both have TP, but Squab does have the unstoppable force. SB doesn't have TP of his own as he used it earlier. I think they're just trying to get this wave in. It is a very nice position for Emmett, but oh, very nice use of Seraphine ult and Volta next. Even though exhausted, takes down Annihilation. Manny is going to be brought very low. 2 TPs coming in. Here comes Squab, getting a ulting only on Red Panda, but that means Esper just gets to beat down Krusty Pants, and Squab is just going to with nowhere else to run, just gets beaten down himself. SLB is on the bot lane, but don't think he can do anything here. They do have the Taric R, and SLB can steal away a nice R. Probably not Seraphine's, but that does mean that I think Hawkins just gets to shove the wave in and get 1 or 2 plays for himself. Oh, Red Panda brought very low. SLB has the Diana R, misses the abduct, and Taric are going to be dropped. Unfortunately, SLB isn't able to get in there without a flash and without the E hitting on the target. So, unfortunate for GMTB3A.
Yeah, I mean, they desperately hold on to their bot lane third. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it to use a power code for that, because...
Oh, Annihilation brought very low, flashing.
Okay, I guess Annihilation.
Sure, I mean, there's nothing I can say here. I mean, like, that's what we call a little bit of inting.
Yep. Honestly, didn't need to look for that, because now it kind of just gives... Well, I say that, actually, Titans ended up just resetting, so the Dragon is just going to go over to GMTB3A anyway. You know that they had no Taric ulti, and they just lost their ADC carry, which is a really weird outcome out of all that. I guess Titans just... They had gold to spend, and they just needed to go and do it, so...
Oh my god, just look at Esper's first item.
Oh, he's doing it. All right. The first time I've seen the Hullbreaker ever. So, very curious to see how this item ends up working out for him. Let's just have a quick hover over here.
That's a lot of stats, actually. 50 AD, 300 HP. Like, for an item that's not a mythic, that's actually kind of a lot. And he has the shield as well, so he's going to be destroying these towers really fast.
Yeah, and it's like a decent amount of base regen as well, right? So, like, he can just kind of... He has a lot of sustain for the lane. Hawkins.
Oh, Annihilation! I actually think wins that trade. Manny doesn't actually get the linked the E off there, so but it doesn't really matter. Bolton Mex and Red Panda just beating away at this tower. They do have the Diana very close. They're gonna get it on this next wave though, so it's not gonna be that much of an issue. And Esper is just gonna be happy in the top side. You know, these cheese wheels are not doing any damage anymore, so this comment that Malphite brought is has lost its value significantly.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be harder and harder for him to try match the split push. The Herald was used on top. I assume Crusty fans kind of ran out of time to use it, so they're going to just try to get some damage here onto the top lane turret. I don't think they'll even get it though. I do not think you can try and dive this Trundle, so they're just going to clear out some vision here right now. So MS can't push.
You know, okay, never mind. I guess Crusty is just walking away from this. Diana is on the top side. And he does have a lot of damage, but you know, for that Hullbreaker passive to be active, he has to have nobody with him. So I think he's just happy left to his own devices up in that top side.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll see now. Both bot lanes here in mid, just shoving waves back and forth. Looks like SLB is going to push down here in the bot lane. Doesn't have the tower to run back to, so it's going to have to be pretty careful there on the side lane if Emma's ever in the area, but currently he's in top lane, is swallowed out by the control ward here, so what's really going to happen here mid, Bolton's just ulting the wave to get the shove, and yeah, both teams just kind of look for setup right now.
Yeah, Hawkins, now he's finally matching SLB in this bot side. He does have the Gale Force and the Sheen. So he does have a lot of kill potential, but with the Ignite, bot lane from GMTB3A are just going to reset, get their mythics for themselves, and I think the Dragon in 2 minutes. Yeah, so it's Infernal Rift, but GMTB3A do have the 2 Dragon advantage, but we're going to see if that is able to be enough when it comes to these team fights.
Yeah, for sure. Thing is, like, they are down 4k gold already. It does feel like right now Titans have kind of stronger one-item spikes. You know, Ezreal's Divine Sunderer, Lucian has the Gale Force, Seraphine has the Moon Staff. Okay.
Hawkins and SLB just trading most of each other. Crusty fans once again flashing for Hawkins flash, but here comes Emmett on the back by Flash ulting himself. SLB does flash, but he doesn't actually get away from the damage from Moonfall. Crusty fans does have no flash, but here comes Hawkins picking up that to back him up. Annihilation is trying to fight trying to fight Bolton Neck, but a nice little charm from Red Panda does deny most of that damage. Exhaust going to be dropped. Heal still available for both ADCs. A lot of damage from Volta next. He's still alive and healthy. Annihilation brought very low. So is Red Panda. Sorry, I meant Manny was brought very low, but so is Red Panda. But unfortunately, neither of these ADCs do enough damage to take out their respective supports. But still, at the end of the day, Volta next is going to get that push on the tower.
Yeah, too much healing and shielding coming out from these Guardian supports. So not too surprised to see the two ADCs kind of struggling just a little bit in the 2v2 there. But ultimately, it does mean that Annihilation was able to stay in lane. He's able to get this wave shoved in. Red Panda had to use both his summoners to kind of get out of dodge. So we'll see if Annihilation overstays here. Emmett is looking, but is on his own.
Oh, SLB dashing in. He doesn't have flash of his own, but neither does Emmett. So both junglers and mid laners have no flash. Neither does Bolton next and Red Panda, but Annihilation does have his, so does Manny. Squab has TP and an ult, but I don't think Trundle wants to actually join in fights right now. Taking the blast plant over. They do get spotted, so not sure how these dragon fights are going to play out. Esper needs to put a bit more pressure, but that third dragon's going down really fast. Emmett doesn't have exactly a great way to... He can get in here. Nice ulti. Manny is going to be brought very low. Unfortunately, he burns all his damage, but it's not a very nice stopwatch. Squabble is here. SLB does have the Seraphine ult, so he can do a lot of damage. Emmett goes down, shut down. Going to be dropped, but we do hear Callista going down, Tara going down. Lucian is also down. Bolton next does pick up this kill onto Squab, and Krusty Pants by himself. Can he 1v3? Nice score drinker going to be used. Red Panda is going to be the next target on his list, but Esper Boss is just going to bat away at his head and just quit a nice little chump, gets that ace, and Titans get their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, like those are really long and drawn out fights, which ended up favoring the side with the Seraphine overall. You could see all those healing come through. Like Emmett lasted for so long. He went in so early. Had to use the stopwatch to kind of buy himself a bit of time, and then still got additional healing and shielding on top of that. So it took them so long to just get him down, and then Voltanex was able to kite out with his own mobility. That Esperos kind of just went ham in the backline and just killed a bunch of people. Honestly, this Trundle very, very strong. Had Divine Sunder already complete as well as that Hullbreaker he ended up buying first. So he's gonna be really strong here on the side lane.
Yeah, like 100%. He's never going to lose a split anymore. He just needs his team to, apply as much pressure as they can. Bolton next is very fed. Diana is actually while not having the stopwatch anymore, is like still a force to be reckoned with, and Hawkins is just absolutely tearing up the side lane right now.
So let's see. Right now, both teams kind of just posturing. Still, this mid turret hasn't gone down for either side. Bravo, it's getting a bit of a beat down from Esper. Should be fine for now. Is looking back,
we do see both junglers coming. I mean, they don't have flashes, but Esper actually he does see it. Diana on the back here. Squab is going to be brought very low, but they're all going to come together. But a very nice crescent guard from Krusty knocks away the Diana R damage. But here comes the pillar, knocking down knocking down Malphite, and here comes here comes Esper, just beating down Krusty under his own tower. Double kill for the Trundle. Even in a 1v2, he seems to like hold his own.
Yeah, for sure. Like you saw him, he pops the ulti onto the Malphite as soon as Krusty fans show up in Zinzao. So he was super hard for him to burst, and when they try to escape, you've all the slows, you've got the pillars for disruption. Means that Esper and Nightwing can keep chasing on, and they end up getting the 2 kills for nothing. And now Esper is just free to already has that tier 2. He was barely on that tower for 5 seconds. He's already gotten it down. Esper is pretty much unstoppable in this side lane now.
If you want to take a look at the gold graph, you see that Esper is nearly double Squab's gold at this point.
Oh my lord. Yeah, that is a disgusting amount of gold here on the Trundle. Has recalled now. Has got himself is just building some resistances, so has the Bramble Vest for the healing reduction. It's going to come, for that Zinzao and for the Callista. Makes a lot of sense. And has built himself the Spectre Scowl. We'll see what he ends up turning that into. I can't remember the name of the item that it builds into.
Spirit Visage, but I think at this point SLB does have the stolen Diana R. I see Emmett actually gets a nice bit of damage. A very nice follow-up from Red Panda, but not all the damage is pretty much blocked by their Taric R. Squav's going to be brought very low. It's all on Bolton next to do damage, and Trundle doesn't give a rat about this team fight. He is just happily splitting in that bot side. And Red Panda brought very low. Nice pierce from Annihilation, picking up that snipe. Hawkins is on the side with Flash and Ignite. No culling, though, to actually take him out. Actually does get hit by the Taric stun. Rusty Pants is going to be brought very low. Exhaust can be dropped. SLB dashing in, misses. Sorry, it was actually dodged by Hawkins. No disrespect as well. But another tier 2 taken down in quick time by Esper Boss. Annihilation brought very low. No mana. Manny is going to have to try and stall out as long as possible. Hawkins brought very low as well, but Annihilation is going to run down by Mystic Shots with the red buff. And here comes another Arcane Shift in. Voltanex flashing under that tower, getting that kill. And Esper Boss subjugating Squabbo, taking him down. And, what looked to be really good for Give Me the Bread is just turning out really sourly as they try to overextend, trying to force plays that they don't need to take. And it's just turning around to bite them in the ass.
Yeah, like, he just took that tier 2 right in front of Squabble without basically no contest whatsoever and got a fair chunk onto the tier 1 before being forced back. Meanwhile, in that mid lane, yeah, it was just like the picks were really good initially from the side of Give Me the Bread, but they overstayed, they overforced, and it ended up being the 280 carries just punished them right in the long lane, and they managed to get a lot of gold back into their pockets, so they nearly got themselves an 11k gold lead here 24 minutes into the game, and it feels pretty tough for Give Me the Bread here unless they get a perfect fight set up for themselves, because right now it just doesn't feel like they have a lot of damage. Let's see now. So they have the setup here in the river. The waves are pushing in all 3 lanes for the side of Titan, so they're going to be happy enough with how this is going so far.
Yeah.
Squabble
misses the unstoppable force, and a 2-man ulti from Evan actually lands onto Annihilation as SLB trying to get a return kill, but unfortunately he dies before he gets the ulti off, and Esper is just beating the living shit out of Manny, and that is a second dragon, but unless Krusty Pants can look for the miracle steal, he dashes in 1v4 and dies.
So yeah, this is pretty much game at this point. That's double Infernals. It's 50k gold to 38k. They're going to get themselves this inhibitor at very least, and they're going to grab themselves the Baron as well. So Titans very much in control from this point.
Yeah, I guess Titans still has something left in the tank. I actually thought this series was going to be very Give Me the Bread favored, especially with team comp looking wise. But I guess Titans are still better at executing and piloting their champions than the enemy team, I guess.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is that when I look on Give Me the Bread's comp, it's like you got 2 damage dealers, which is Silas and Kalista, right? So Silas, he's gonna like he can kind of make plays on his own. He can kind of do his thing. I feel like if you pick Kalista, you have to play around that champion, right? Because you want to get her ahead. You want her to be relevant. Because ultimately, there's just a lot of tools on the enemy team that kind of just outpace her in a lot of ways. The Lucian, the Ezreal, they've got so much ability, they can kind of kite her out. So unless she's Gigafed and can kind of chase them down, so it seems like they just weren't able to do that. Squelbo is looking for a pick.
Whoa, Red Panda brought very low, but a nice encore going to be dropped. 2-man charm. Of course, the Pants is exhausted. Red Panda still somehow alive. Taric dropping the R. Annihilation flashing over the wall. SLB is here. Not able to hit the abduct though. Manny is going to be brought very low. He's just going to eventually get taken down by Emmett, and Hawkins more or less 1v1s the SLB. Gets a triple kill for himself. Annihilation is in the enemy base trying to recall, but I don't think it matters as the rest of Titans are just going to barrel it down mid with this Baron. And I think that might just be the game in series.
Yeah, I believe it is. 20 seconds on SLB, 8 seconds on the rest of the competition. Now, Titans are overforcing this a little bit, and Hawkins is going to die, so it looks like it's not going to be the game just yet. They've been greedy, and they're going to pay for it.
Oh, but Trundle is on that side. Emmett and Voltimus are just buying time. Krusty Pants is gonna try and 1v2. He actually gets one, and Trundle unfortunately not able to hit the towers hard enough. And this series is still ongoing.
So
Oh,
SLB used solo multi, does not manage to find the kill. As for Ross and Bolton next, running for the kills. They do have that. They can turn the fight here actually.
oh, SLB a bit too far for himself. Bolton next is just gonna Mystic Shot, headshot, and he picks up that kill on SLB, dominating 10, 2, and 14 on this Ezreal. He's actually had a really good series, this guy.
Yeah, definitely a lot of back and forth in that bot lane early on, but he does always seem to kind of come ahead in the end and has some really nice team fighting with the rest of the squad. So, well played by them. But yeah, right now it all feels like a bit of a formality because, again, with this kind of gold lead, 17k in their pockets over Give Me the Bread and all the map control in the world, it does feel pretty impossible for deciding Give Me the Bread to make a comeback in this. Realistically, like, they have to just make picks outside of a 5-on-5. Like, they have to try find individual members off who might be overextended. But again, Esperos doesn't really care about that. He's just going to be in the side lane. They are trying to collapse on them.
Oh. Well, Esper does have the ulti. He does have the ability just to beat down 1v2. Squab is actually probably very low. A lot of dashing and pulling in. Squab is just going to ult out, but Emmett just has the few dashes of his own. And Emmett? Emmett? Okay, Krusty Pants autoing the minions, I guess. There's a couple of misplays here. I'm going to bring on the circus music and S. I guess he's... Yeah. Okay, sure, whatever. I guess Emmett really just wants the series to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, again, he started trading, he bet on the enemy team to win, like nearly 120k channel points, so clearly he is trying to intentionally throw the game. But again, Titans, I mean, you know, you've got next Infernal Dragon in 20 seconds. It feels impossible for Give Me the Red to even try to contest that. Look at all the red vision in that quadrant of the jungle.
Oh,
Esper is
hang on a minute.
on.
SLB actually drops the... I think he dropped his Trundle ulti first. So Esper actually steals a lot more stats, but he's by himself, and Manny actually flashing to get that stun, and Esper still alive, but at the end of the day, a 1k shutdown for the man who autos the minions instead of the Diana. But Annihilation, prop down, is very low by himself, does get rooted by that Seraphine E. And that bot inhib is potentially going over, but not yet, but a 3-man Seraphine R would have fallen by a 3-man ulti by the Ezreal. It's very huge, but Manny has the R of his own to deny a lot of that damage. But Bolton next actually still up so much damage, picking up that kill. Red Panda is also here. Seraphine R stolen. 3-man charm, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Bolton next picks up that kill for himself. Squabble has left the game in sadness and despair. And this series is over. For definite now. And Titans are going to be the first team to make it to the finals of SST4.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and what a game! Look at the damage again coming out from Voltnex. 42k damage in that game, and I have to say, like, Red Panda really had a pretty good performance too. I have to say on the Seraphine, because he had a lot of good ultis, but also he just survived for so long in so many of these fights, and you could see that Give Me Red were so desperate to take him down. And then he gets onto like single digit HP and still managed to survive somehow. So that was really well played here from Titans, and commiserations to Give Me the Bread tree. They had a pretty good run. Unfortunately, that is going to be all from them in this best tree. And it is Titans going on to the finals. And we'll see who their opponent is going to be. But yeah, any final thoughts here on the series, High? Apparently not. So, with that being said, guys, let me just check real quick.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, no. Bolton next diff. That's all I was meant to say.
Okay, that's fair enough. Bolton next did definitely have a very good series. So, not too surprised about that. Now, let me just check if there's anyone we can raid. If not, we'll end it here. Oh, so who would you pick for your MVP for the series then?
Oh, MVP. I think my MVP would have to go to Red Panda because
Yeah.
even though the ADC did show up and do the damage, it was only on the back of the support enabling him through the early game. And Red Panda obviously did what he needed to do to let Voltanex do his super carry.
Yep, absolutely makes sense. So no one there to raid, so we're just gonna end it there, guys. But thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with the other semifinals soon enough. I don't know when exactly that is. Is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, so we should
yeah.
be back then. And I don't know if it's going to catch that yet, but hopefully we will see you there. We'll talk to you next time, guys. Take it easy.